Hello, and welcome to Adam's Realm. I'm no expert, but I think I can beat this game. Join me in my quest to not just survive, but thrive in Minecraft. So a while back, I posted a video about making a villager trading farm for enchantments. So I did finish it, however, I made some mistakes. And so basically, I have had to redo the entire thing. So what I did was I placed the villagers in here and locked them into their trades. However, I broke their trading stations, their lecterns, their workstations. And that meant that once I depleted their trades, they can trade 16 times, but once I did that, they couldn't replenish their trades. So none of these librarians were able to trade paper anymore, and some of them, like mending, were actually running out of books because I bought so many of them. I put mending on basically everything. So because of that, I had to redo the entire thing, which took forever. And I didn't do it all at once. I kind of picked away at it here and there, which is why I didn't really make a video on fixing it, because it just took so long. And I did it piece by piece. But now it is pretty much finished. And so basically I have each librarian with their specific lectern, and I have a block in front of them so I don't accidentally mine their lectern, because this axe here with Unbreaking, Silk Touch, Mending, and Efficiency 4 mines so fast I could easily just hit that with one hit and mine it, so I don't want to do that. So anyway, this is what I have right now. I have Sharpness 5, Infinity, Feather Falling 4, Destiny 4, Lunge 3, Protection 3, Respiration 3, Fortune 3, Respiration 3 again. I kept both of them because they sell for different prices, and they also have different secondary books. So if I go up to this guy, he's also got another book here that I haven't unlocked yet. I want to figure out what that is before I actually get rid of him, but yeah, anyway, I also have Unbreaking 3, Flame, Silk Touch, Fire Aspect 2. These are the Fletchers that I trade with for emeralds. This is Knockback 2, Efficiency 5, Power 5, and Mending. So those are my enchantments that I have available. And I've got a few more that I want again, but these are the essentials that I feel like I really need. And so basically I need to trade with these guys, which means I need emeralds. So in order to get emeralds, I made something. Oh, we have some enemies here. Let's just take care of these guys. All right, and creep over there. Anyway, what I made, I am calling the factory. This is a factory basically for emeralds. So let me show you inside. Now, this build took me a long time to get all the materials and to build it all, so I didn't make a video on the build of this because it, again, just like the villager trading farm, it took so long to make this and to get all the materials. I just pieced away at it, picked away at it, piece by piece for literally weeks. So I'm going to give you a tour of this factory instead of doing an actual build video. So first off, here is the AFK area. You can come in here to a nice safe area. You've got a bed so you can spend the night, and a chest for extra items. And here is kind of the heart of the whole thing. I did post a video about making this original farm. This is a kelp bone meal farm. So up top here, we have kelp, and there are pistons underneath the sand which update the sand block, and which makes the kelp grow. And I don't know if that's a glitch or an actual game mechanic, but it works. So the kelp grows basically instantly and then is cut down by these pistons here. It then goes into these hoppers down here. And then if we can get down here, after it goes into the hoppers, it goes into these chests. These chests then feed it down into these hoppers, which feed it down into these composters. The composters funnel all of the bone meal down into this chest. And this is usually full because I AFK here quite a lot, and this is usually full of bone meal. But I've been doing a lot of trading and stuff, so it's almost empty now. But from my first video, I've expanded, excuse me. From my first video, I've expanded this quite a bit. So I started with just the 6 bay, but I found that that was not enough. So I did expand it to another 5 bays. And I would have done another 6, but it would have run into this sugarcane farm, which I didn't want to do. So I kept it to 5, but I could actually do another bay on here. If you go any further than that, then the redstone starts to lose power, and then you have to put in another repeater, which messes with the timing, which means it doesn't work. So basically, this is the on-off switch for this entire contraption. It runs both sides, it's right in the middle, and there you go. There's the kelp growing, getting cut down, going into these chests, as you can see. Coming down into these hoppers. Oh, I've got some sand in there. Don't want that. Going to these hoppers, and which comes down in here as bone meal eventually. And yes, it is ticking up fairly quickly. This thing is a monster, and it creates a ton of bone meal. It also requires a lot of maintenance. So this farm breaks often, especially if you AFK or if you walk away from it. Eventually it'll break. Like after like 2 hours of AFK, it'll be almost completely broken. But by that time, it will have almost filled up this entire chest. So still well worth it, even though it has some issues. And there are a couple of extra features built into this that I have here. So one of the things that I have over here is for biofuel. So this is a kelp block farm. So basically you come in here and it makes dried kelp blocks. That gets auto-crafted here if you put kelp up here. See, if you put kelp up there, it goes down into the furnaces and then into the auto-crafter and then here as dried kelp blocks. Now, I need kelp to do that. So in order to do that, you just flip this lever. It removes that hopper, which means this then just starts building up kelp, just like that. And it'll fill this entire thing up very quickly. And you can just take that, and I'm going to put this back for right now, so it keeps making bone meal, but you just take that, you put it up here, then the furnaces start to go, and then they drop it, the dried kelp, into here. We'll just wait a second to get another dried kelp. There we go. And then it crafts it into blocks. And dried kelp blocks can be used for fuel in furnaces. So this is, I don't know, it kind of seems like an infinite energy machine. Like I'm using kelp to make dried kelp, to make kelp blocks, to make more dried kelp, because these furnaces are running off of dried kelp blocks. But it works, and I don't know the exact math. I think you can smelt 20 items with a kelp block, so it takes 9 in order to make a kelp block. So you're getting like 2 to 1, I think, almost, if that math works out. I don't know. Anyway, that is the kelp farm that kind of is the heart of this whole factory here. One of the big trading items that I have, because I have so many librarians with enchanted books, is this farm. So this is a farm that grows sugarcane and then makes paper. So I'll show you how that works. Basically, once you have a bunch of bone meal, you just grab a bunch of it like that. You come over here, you put it in this chest here, and that activates this farm. It grows the sugarcane, which then gets harvested, and then you have to come downstairs to see the end result. So it's getting pulled down here by a hopper minecart, which then goes into another hopper, which then goes into another chest. So here the sugarcane is coming down. That goes into an auto crafter here, which is crafting paper. And you have to be careful when you set this up, because you will just craft sugar if you don't have some sort of way of limiting this so it doesn't craft unless it has 3 items. So I have used a YouTube video to figure this out, and this is the setup that works really well that they used. So basically you have this redstone setup here, and it comes down into this crafter, and this crafter controls how many slots need to be filled before it actually starts to craft something. So I've got 3 in here, which means this crafter, which is connected to all this, has to have 3 slots filled before it'll try and craft anything. So that is why I'm getting paper instead of sugar. And here is all the paper. And you get a lot of paper this way. This is a very efficient farm. This is my favorite farm by far. Now, when I originally made this kelp bone meal farm, I had it automatically feeding all of the bone meal into this farm, which is a stick farm. So this farm grows bamboo, and it kind of works now. I've changed it around a little bit. It kind of works now on the same principle. So you take a little bit of bone meal, you put it in this chest, you flick this lever back and forth to reset the system, and then it starts harvesting bamboo. And then once again, you come downstairs, and here the bamboo is getting drawn down with a minecart hopper into this chest here, and you can see it coming down. And then and if you want just bamboo, you can pull this back and bamboo will just build up in this chest. But if you want to, you can have that go back, and then it goes into the auto crafter, and there's nothing you can do with 1 slot. So this is a very simple auto crafter recipe. Once it fills up 2 slots, then it crafts sticks. And you can trade sticks with Fletchers. And that's what I wanted to do originally until I got so many librarians. So those are 2 ways in order to get emeralds. So let's work on let's talk about the 3rd way now, which is sheep. So I have shepherds that will trade wool. So these sheep are being automatically sheared every time they eat grass. So how this works is there is a dispenser here with shears in them, and then underneath here there is a observer which is observing this block here that the sheep are sitting on. So once that grows grass, it will trigger at that point, but it won't do anything. But once the sheep eats the grass, it'll change again, which means the observer will trigger, and it'll trigger this dispenser. And once the sheep eats, it'll grow wool, and then that dispenser will shear it. So this is getting wool automatically, and here is the wool that I have so far that I haven't traded yet, but I am able to trade this wool for emeralds as well. So there's a 3rd way to get emeralds from this factory. Another way to get emeralds from this factory is out back here. Nope, it is raining. Okay, so here we have basically a drying rack. Okay, so I have this platform out here with all this dripstone underneath it. And how this works is you come up here and you grab some dirt like that. Okay, and then you stand up here. And so this chest you put in water bottles. And they come down into this dispenser here, which is full of water bottles. And then there's an observer here that I'm standing on. And then what I do is I grab my dirt, I place it right here. The observer triggers the system to dispense a water bottle onto this dirt block, which makes it mud. And then I can just keep doing this. place here, and it just keeps on getting pushed down. Just like that. And it keeps dispensing water bottles. When it gets to the end, these pistons push it out and make room for another row. Alright, now here's the tricky part. I worked on a lot of iterations of this in order to make this work well. So the problem is that once the dispenser dispenses a water bottle, it gets filled up with empty water bottles. So you have to have a way of getting rid of those. So basically, I have made an auto sorter here for empty water bottles. So that hopper underneath the dispenser is locked by this redstone. And each time you put down a dirt block here, it unlocks just for a second. And down here, oh my goodness. Did not expect enemies. He seems to be just hiding from the rain, but I don't care. I'll get rid of him. Okay, anyway, where was I? So down here, in this, see if I can select the hopper here. Yep, there we go. I've got the, oh, nope, that's not it. Where... Okay, there's supposed to be 42 glass bottles in order to make this work, or 41 glass bottles in order to make this work. At least so I heard. But it seems to be working fine with 18. I don't know why that is at this point, but maybe I will look into that. Anyway, you have these placeholder bottles, which you need to rename in an anvil for placeholder. And then you're supposed to have 41 of these empty bottles here, which means that only empty bottles will come down into this chest. And I don't know, they may have changed something or patched something, but it is still working. So basically what you do is after you're done, or after all the bottles are depleted up at the top, you take these glass bottles, bring them up here. I've got a little water source here, so I'll just select these glass bottles. And then basically you just fill them up right here. And I don't care that they're not going into my inventory. Actually, I prefer that they didn't. So once we're done just filling these up, we'll just stand right over them. We will select this chest and we will just start filling them up. And as I am filling them up, I am picking them up out of that water hole. So that's why I prefer that they don't actually go into my inventory. And then, yeah, we'll just put one more in there. And we've got an extra one, but that's okay. So, yes, that is how this works. And there is a way that you can automate the process of moving bottles from the bottom all the way to the top and refilling them. But I just didn't think that was worth the extra effort. I got this working, and I just said, that is efficient enough. I'm happy with that. So I stopped there. Anyway, that is how this farm works. Okay, so, and then once the mud gets pushed over into these dripstone, then you can just, it turns into clay eventually. It dries it out and turns it into clay. And then you can just harvest it. You get 4 clay balls per block. And then you can come down here to this villager who happens to trade clay. So you can trade him clay. He will trade 16 times before he runs out of trades and then replenishes with his workstation there. So that is how the clay farm works. Now, the clay farm was also useful in making this factory because, as you see, I used bricks. And in order to use brick blocks to build something, you need to have clay. And basically what happens is, this is my brick farm here. So what happens is you move this clay in here. It gets smelted in these furnaces, comes down into the auto crafter as bricks. And we'll see how long this takes here. There's 2, 3, one more. There we go. It just crafted another brick block, which comes down to this chest. So that is how I got all the bricks for this build, which took, again, a long time. Piecemeal here and there, going out here. And this hasn't always been this efficient of a factory. I started out with just one line of dripstone and manually doing the entire placing and wetting of the dried blocks. I eventually got this automated farm working, but I actually built a fair amount of this just doing it manually. So anyway, that is yet another way of getting emeralds here at the factory. Another element to this factory is the smooth stone floor. I use smooth stone for the entire floor, and that requires smelting cobblestone twice. So basically you put cobblestone up here, it gets smelted in this furnace, and then it turns into stone. It then goes down into this furnace and gets smelted into smooth stone. So I do have some stone, but mostly just smooth stone in here, and that is how I got the materials for this entire floor here. I also have a glass station, so basically, I mean, these are very simple. These are not difficult farms to make, but basically you put sand up here, it gets smelted, and then comes out as glass here. Obviously, not a difficult thing to do. You can do that manually if you want. I just wanted something that would be kind of more automatic. And as you can see, this bone meal farm is already kind of breaking. There are a few stations that don't have kelp anymore. So what I do in this instance, I come up here and grab my extra kelp, and I just plant some more here. Yep, there we go. And sometimes the sand gets destroyed, so I have to replace the sand as well. And that's just kind of the nature of this machine as I've found it. If you walk away or AFK, it tends to break like that. So that's why I have this easy access up top here to get to those bays and replenish them. Okay, well that is a lot, but that is not all. Let me just turn this off here so it doesn't break too badly when I walk away from it. And then we will go upstairs and I'll show you the second floor. So this area I intended to be pretty much pure storage, and it turns out I did not need nearly this much space for all my storage. I have had these chests here for weeks now, and I am very far from filling them up. Matter of fact, many of them are still empty with nothing. Oh, that has some random, oh my goodness, I have some ominous trial keys in there. And a shovel? Oh my goodness, I've got all kinds of stuff in here. Alright, things are getting lost. I need to be more organized. Anyway, I don't need nearly this much space for organization. Originally, I had thought of turning this into a giant auto sorter for all the items, but I don't really like the auto sorter idea because I like to put multiple items in a single chest, like the wood chest. I'm happy having multiple wood items in here. I don't want one chest for one item. And so I didn't feel like the auto sorter was going to be good for me and what I wanted to do. Gotta grab a drink. So anyway, I've got plenty of chests up here, and with plenty of room to move up to expand. Like, some of these stone chests are full, so I just move up and keep going up with each one of these categories. And I think that's a good method for me. And basically, I know where everything is, and I can just come in and grab what I need. Now, this is kind of a mess up here, and I will explain this in just a second. First of all, we need to go sleep so we don't get bothered while I show you the rest of this factory. There we go. Okay, the rest of the factory is up on the roof. So this is the roof access right here. They'll come up here, and this is the automatic farm that I made. So basically, I have 3 villagers up here. This villager is harvesting carrots. This villager is harvesting wheat. And then this village over here is also harvesting carrots, just because I didn't really have enough of anything else in order to plant. So I've got lots of carrots. He also trades carrots, which is fairly convenient since I get a lot of carrots from this farm. I don't know how long this has been here, but it hasn't been long, and I've been trading carrots quite a bit. So basically, just grab a bunch of carrots, and okay. So this is a way that I made of getting in and out of here, so that I can get in and out of here without the villagers accessing the doors or gates. And so this is a lever here with some redstone under here and a sticky piston. Basically, it drops the fence, and I can come in and put it back. And he would like to trade some carrots, so we will just go ahead and do that and get rid of some of these carrots here, get some emeralds. This is yet another way of getting emeralds here at the factory. There we go. And we have some extra carrots. We will just come out here, and yes, you can activate that from inside, just like that. And then we'll put these carrots back for next time. And we got 13 emeralds now. That is great. So basically, these villagers, once their inventory is full, they try and offload it onto a hungry villager, which is right here in the middle. He has nothing, so he is hungry. So they will try and feed him. Once they do, it comes into these hoppers and then gets funneled down into my chest. So the carrot farmers also obviously harvest carrots, but the wheat farmer gives bread, which is a good food source if you need it. So that is one thing that is very efficient about this farm. Also, you do need a gate here because I did have some zombies spawn up here apparently, and they zombified the middle villagers. So in order to keep them from getting too close, I do have this gate here now, and I don't know how they even spawned up here. I mean, I've got torches everywhere, but all right. Anyway, that is pretty much it. Oh, also, this is a mess because originally the farmer that was over here was not trading carrots. He was just dropping them on the ground. So I attempted to make this area here. Let's see if I can get up here. Oops. Just get up here. And so this is kind of like I had a hopper minecart that was going over this entire area to pick up any extra carrots that he just kind of dropped on the ground, which he was doing a lot of. But I couldn't figure out how to cover the entire ground and still power enough rails with the redstone torch. And yeah, it was just a mess, and I had a hard time with it. So anyway, I didn't like that, and I ended up not having to do that anyway because he did eventually start trading his carrots with the center villager, and I did end up getting them. So I don't need to do that anymore. Anyway, so you can come down here, collect all kinds of resources, and then come out here into the village. And this I had set up well, but it kind of got destroyed by a creeper, apparently. I don't know how this happened, but half of this house got destroyed by a creeper. And one of these villagers that I had that was a shepherd did get killed, apparently. But this one still trades wool for emeralds. So, yeah, you can just... I have some extra in here. I think, yeah, you can just grab that. And then, yes, he will trade with you wool for emeralds, which is a good trade for me because I'm basically getting wool for free. So that is awesome. But I've got to fix this up a little bit. This is looking really ratty, and I don't know what happened there. But anyway, I think in my 2,246 days of playing Minecraft, that this villager trading station, in conjunction with the factory, is probably my best build yet. This trading station has been so vital in getting myself beefed up. Like, I know I have netherite armor and all netherite tools now, but without all these enchantments, they are not nearly as powerful. Like, I've got sharpness 5, fire aspect 2, mending, and knockback on my sword. I've got Unbreaking 3, Fortune 3, Mending, Efficiency 5 on my axe. I have Unbreaking 3, Silk Touch, Mending, and Efficiency 4 on my axe. And I lost them, but I did have a bow that had, power 5 and fire and infinity on it. And just having all of these enchantments just makes me so overpowered. Even my armor, I've got protection 3 on the helmet. I do have protection 4. If you use 2 protection 3 books, you can get protection 4. So that's how I got protection 4 on my chest plate, my pants, and my boots. So, I mean, just with all this armor and all these enchantments on my tools, I am just basically unstoppable. So it feels really good to have all these, and I am 100% certain this is the best thing that I have built in Minecraft so far. And the factory makes it all possible. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. And maybe I'll see you in the next one.